What's up, traders? I am Vincent Mokoteli from Vinboard Signal Factory. This is not a financial advice. It's powerful education for those ready to level up. With the right mindset and real strategy, success is within your reach. Welcome to Vinboard Signal Factory, where signals meet success. So traders, with the euro and the dollar, today in the opening of the week, we're gonna have to analyze what happened before the market has just opened. The market opened and came back to retest the first demand zone, like we explained in our weekly Forex forecast videos that was posted online yesterday on YouTube. So this also was fantastic if you take a look at it. We put a buy stop here, and now the trade has been active just a minute ago. And what do we expect? We expect momentum to keep coming in, to make the new high, and eventually make our 1:3 up at the top there. This is nothing. This is not special. This is just the power of Vinboard Signal Factory strategy. And since we are still waiting, it will be best if we get a straight up momentum to the upside on Monday. But judging from the power that we had on Friday with the rate cut news, this is probably the highest probable chance. But if we do get it, and then it comes down to take our stop loss to retest it the second time, we will do a re-entry. Or if we do come and retest a deeper second bound of our demand zone, then this will be a great place again to look for buying opportunities to the upside. So guys, this is a fantastic setup, and with that being said, this will be played out in the market going into from the beginning of the week going into the end of the week. We will see how our strategy and plan unfold in the market. So guys, without wasting much of our time, let's jump straight over to the pound and the pound and the dollar. Very similar to the euro and the dollar. After the market opened, it opened with a gap, closed with a gap, retested our first demand zone, still did not reach our second demand zone. We put a buy stop here, and few minutes ago this has just been activated. And what do we expect? Upward momentum, and then a take profit to our intended target, which is right above our last week's, which is right at our last week's intended area of target. It is still at 1.3594. This signal is for those who are still not with us with this trade. If you are with us with this trade, just break even or put stop below this or at our second demand zone, so that if it gets to our second demand zone, you will give yourself a better re-entry to go in and take profit at our last week's intended target profit. So without wasting much of our time, this is the understanding that I do have of the pound and the dollar and the setup that it has given us last week by the end of the week on Friday, as Jerome Powell introduced the Fed cut the rate cut expectations. So without wasting much of our time, let's jump straight over to the pound and the Canadian dollar. So very simply put, with this euro and Canadian dollar, what do I expect? Of course, going into this week, last week I did mention that after taking profit, we did take profit from these levels last week, and we were not interested again on trading. This gave us a second demand structure that we have, which this one led to being the first demand zone and this being the second demand zone. And after all, these pairs that I analyze here on YouTube are very easy to analyze because they are correlated. So without wasting much of our time, the opening of Monday, this became a pullback or a correction to the downside, and we put a buy stop here after this, expecting a strong momentum to the upside, and indeed we did get a strong momentum to the upside. Now what do we expect after this momentum? To take out this 1:3 risk to reward ratio at the top. Now guys, this is the power of our education in Vinboard Signal Factory. If you are not yet registered or with us on the beginner to pro ultimate course, you are missing out, guys, because this could be you analyzing the market like this and then everything goes as expected. And even if you encounter losses, the book will teach you not to be scared or to overanalyze or to be in a state of fear or in a state of greed, but to just remain neutral. We also teach trading psychology in the course. Make sure that you guys get and understand what we teach all the time about trading psychology. It is important. What I'm doing with these signals is that I'm trying to show people what real traders go through on the market on a daily basis. Even on Saturday, I do cover the losses and the lessons that I learned throughout the market during the day, so that you guys can understand how to trade and how to see Forex trading in general, not just to expect winning mentalities and for me to hide the losses. I don't have any shame in hiding the losses, because you know why I do not have any shame in hiding the losses. The thing is, hiding the losses only makes you weak and only prevents you from learning or understanding the market structure as it unfolds. So I'm not against the market structures. If it does go against me, I have to understand what it is trying to show me. I have to accept the losses instead of trying to fight. And for you to accept the loss, or the key to accepting the loss, is having the perfect risk management that does not affect any of your trading strategy. So it will help you a lot, guys, if you are more or less equipped with the right tools to trade profitably in the market. So this is the EURCAD for us. Make sure you guys register for the course if you want the course, and it is still free right now before September starts. And this is the last week of September. I've been telling everyone else, but we will see what happens. This is what I do expect. This is what I want to see, taking out the take profit target right there. And this is what I still think is possible if happens, and this is still what I think could be possible to retest the first demand zone and the second demand zone. The first demand zone is at 1.6181, the second demand zone is at 1.6160. If you are not in with us, please make sure you do find opportunities to trade with us without missing out too much. But if it's too late, don't just jump in, do a thorough analysis, and maybe this would be up. Wait for a pullback to get in, and risk to reward ratio should be 1:3 to avoid too much turbulence with your emotion. So after this EURCAD analysis, we are going to the pound and the Canadian dollar analysis, and it will be where you see how to deal with the pound and the Canadian dollar setups going into the coming week. And of course, very similar to what we've just discussed with the previous pair, the pound and the Canadian dollar is structured to the upside. And with it being structured to the upside, we did expect the first demand zone to be retested. And guess what? Retested. This was a buy stop, of course. And it got triggered. And then after the trigger, it looks like we are now looking to make something like this before taking our intended target at 1.8737. This will be a fantastic setup for us if it does go to the same structure to the upside. Now, if it does, of course, if it does come back, take us out, there is no shame in stop loss. You must always remember that there is only shame in stop loss if it makes you feel scared, if it reduces your confidence, if you don't know how much you are risking, if you don't know what the market is telling you, or if you do not see the structure clearly. Then there is shame in those reasons altogether. But if you are stopped out and you do understand that this is what the market is telling me, this is what the structure is for me, and this is how I can go together with the flow of the market again for the re-entry, then there is no shame, because that means you will cover what you have lost 3 to 4 times over above. So without wasting much of our time, what do I expect? I expect to go to the upside, but if we do get down and get stopped out here, a second retest of the first demand zone will be most likely, and then a continuation to the upside to take out the target at 1.8737. But if we do get a deeper correction or a deeper pullback, this will be a second place to look for buying opportunities right here at 1.8663, and to go to the upside will be a fantastic way for you to look for buying opportunities. This also shows you that we are now structured to the upside, and there is no intention of us going to the downside or selling opportunities. We will only sell if we do come to the point whereby we are invalidated at our weekly break of structure. 1.8630 is the fantastic place to look for selling opportunities. If we do reach this level or breach it to the downside, this is still a great place to look for short. But anything that happens in the markets from this area of 1.8640 to the upside, this will be a buying opportunities only, and we will not entirely be looking for selling opportunities in this currency pair or in the currencies that we have just been discussing. Now we are now going to our second from last pair, which is the pound and the euro, which is the currency pair is rather called the euro and the pound currency pair. Let's go straight to it and see what the market has in store for us. And with the euro and the pound, remember last week I did mention that we had a change of structure. This meant that going into this week, the euro will be stronger than the pound. Structurally wise, it was structured so, and this was one of the reasons why I did expect that a bounce to the upside. Right now, I think we have just been active on the euro and the pound, but price wise we are not yet, but maybe a few pips before we get activated to the upside. What we expect is a great retest of our moving averages acting as support or demand setup that we will take right now. This is a best setup, then to go to the upside is a fantastic setup for me. Now, what do I expect with this pair? What do I expect to see with this pair? This is exactly what I do expect to see with this pair. I expect for this egg trade to be active, then after the active trade, I expect to see it come to the upside, pull back to retest the broken last week's high right here at 0.86713, and then a continuation to the upside to take out the target at 0.8724. This will be a fantastic place for us to take profit at. And after taking profit, I did mention that I remember mentioning this on the weekly Forex forecast that the pound has a lot of selling pressure around 0.8730. There's a lot of selling pressure around here, but that's why I have mentioned that taking profit at 0.8724 will be a fantastic setup, especially if you got into here, to make sure that you make that 1:3 risk to reward ratio to the upside. So guys, this is the euro pound with us. Imagine last week let's recap on last week's, so that people who missed our weekly Forex forecast can understand what we were expecting from last week. Well, last week we were expecting the pound to be stronger from the beginning of the week, and with that being said, this was the initial idea. We did enter here, stop loss was above this, which is now our first demand zone. Came out, the pound CPI came out, beat the market expectation, went down, and then we did a break even. Then after the break even, the market itself gave us a break even trade, which means the price was at entry and we did not lose. After this, we had a second we had a second sell. This is where we entered. And remember, why do we enter with such confidence over the strategy? It is because we know that it works as it always will work. And then after that, this is what happened after we entered here. This was the moment where we were about to get out, or this is the moment where we got out and we got stopped out. We did not do any break even here. Now someone will ask me, Vincent, why did you put a break even above right here but not put break even right here, even though the price was already here? The break even that we put here was because of the pound CPI. It comes in earlier than the euro CPI, and we did mention that if the euro CPI gets or attract more buyers, it might come and take out the stop to do a second re-entry for us to continue to the downside. Now what did happen was for that. Now why didn't I put the same one here? Is because right here this was basically or strictly based on structure only and not on a lot of factors like the fundamentals. It was only based on structure only. That's why we had to do that. And after this, we did understand that after this push to the upside, we did understand that now the euro has, and this push was also followed by Jerome Powell Fed rate cuts or on September that are coming. So with that being said, guys, this is why we were saying, okay, we were no longer going to look for selling opportunities in the euro and the pound. Rather, we are now looking for buying opportunities in the euro and the pound. Now, with that being said, right now leads to us looking for buying opportunities right here, right at this level that we are at the moment, and which leads us to 0.8724. We are here. Do you see how trading psychology is? I've covered a lesson right here on YouTube. You can go in that lesson and check. That lesson is called Mastering Trading Psychology and why you should master it before you master everything else. If it was up to someone else, they would still be looking for selling opportunities right here, selling opportunities right here, selling opportunities right here, without understanding and accepting the market conditions of why the structure has now changed to the upside. Do you understand? Now, thank you for watching and learning this one. Now, let's go over to the US dollar and the Canadian dollar to analyze it as the last currency pair that we will be analyzing on YouTube. So traders, this is the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, and with it, from last week I did mention that this was not by far the best currency pair going into this week, but this was the news. And I did mention on the weekly Forex forecast that if I were to trade this one, this would be a setup that I'm expecting, a retest of this supply zone, the first supply zone, and a continuation to the downside to take out the structure of last week's low at 1.3782, and we have a take profit target at 1.3770. This would be a fantastic take profit. Yet we did put a sell stop right here. It is activated right alongside with other currency pairs like the euro, the pound, the euro dollar, the pound dollar, EURCAD, pound Canadian dollar, and few minutes ago we did enter with the euro and the pound, which in turn has just been active. Now this is correlated with the dollar weakness, and I do think that the continuation to the downside is imminent. Yet rather, if we do come from here, retest again, the second retest, it will be a fantastic place for us to look for selling opportunities down towards the key area of 1.3770, and if we do break above here, this is still a fantastic place for us to look for selling opportunities at 1.3747. Now, someone who watches this and doesn't understand trading but would like to make money in trading, we may have what we call currency invest trade, where we will manage your account for you. Make sure that you double your funding capital or your investment capital within 3 trading months. Now, this would be fantastic for anyone else who has no time to trade, who have a job, have a business to run, who have any important day-to-day activities that will not allow them enough time for them to trade the market, as we are already doing every single day from Monday to Friday. And on Friday we analyze what happened on during the week, and then on Sunday we come out and plan what to do for the coming week. So it is basically every single day. So if you do not have time but you'd like to invest in one of these, please make sure you contact us, DM us, or WhatsApp us at 068 060 53328. I repeat those numbers: 068 060 5332. Now, with that being said, guys, this is what I do expect with the US dollar, Canadian dollar. We have the 30-minute time frame that is just closed up right now. Yes. And after this, a continuation to the downside will be a fantastic setup for us, guys. This is the last but not least pair. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you understand this, and the continuation to the downside is imminent on this currency pair. So for us, guys, it's love, and I would like to say thanks and happy trading for this coming day, and we will discuss again tomorrow with this, because we only analyze the New York session with the real account traders community. So thanks and happy trading.